Hey everyone. Hey, okay. If you've noticed, I didn't have any sound running there. My opener for some reason now is triggering content ID stuff, so it doesn't even make it monetizable. It makes it ineligible for monetization. So I got to get new music for my opener. So until then, I'm just going to mute it when I have it open. So that's the reason why you didn't hear anything. So make sure you hear me now because I have my mic turned on now, but I had the mic and desktop audio turned off because Cheshire was making loud noises as she was getting all prettied up to go live tonight because it's with her. It's all about image. It doesn't matter what you have to say. It's just as long as you look good doing it, I suppose.
I'm basically the new Kyle, so I have to care more about my hair than wearing headphones. Oh, speaking of which, hold on, I
Hours of
need to take
prep
these
work went into
off.
that. Yeah, you should have earbuds by the way because it just covers up the.
No, I'm going to use my speakers. Cue.
There you go. That's thinking, but
That's how selfish I am.
she really is Kyle 2.0. Well, just for that though, I'm going to actually hurt your feelings. What
Oh,
minimal ones you have because goblins are not like quite like human feelings.
my poor Fifis.
All right, so on your since I was gone on vacation, you had a video, caffeine corner chestcraft
Wait,
cooking.
before we go forward, we're actually getting feedback from the chat that we've actually got decent audio out the gate.
I worked on the levels.
That's amazing. I don't know if that's ever happened.
No, and not only my mic but your mic. I'm looking at the levels quite. I took off the filters and I changed things around, so I changed the inputs a little bit. So hopefully this
So
worked a
I'd
little
like
better. I
to
should have
send
asked, but
very special thanks to the person who actually bought me this mic for Christmas. You know who you are, and thank you very much.
wasn't me. I'm
They sent me
Jewish.
a note that says, "Now you won't sound like butt."
Yeah, let me give some recommendations to people who ever want to get into this kind of stuff. Make sure you have a decent mic. It makes the world of difference.
That's so much better.
Headphones, you can use a dollar earpiece if you really need to, but the mic is where it's definitely at. And by the way, I don't do any voice changing or anything like that. This is exactly how I sound. There's no modification whatsoever. So maybe I probably need to though. But anyway, so to ruin your day, before we get into some other stuff,
Oh right, yeah,
it's all
because
about.
because I didn't have a hard enough day,
I
or
just
yesterday being hard enough. Let's ruin it some more. Go
I,
for
I,
it.
I
Hit
got to
me.
make it miserable for you. So you had 61 likes on your video. By the way, I have my likes dislikes turned off this year. Just I want to see if people really
On the
waste their time.
Chestcraft one, please tell me I had like 200 dislikes.
No, no, don't hate you that bad.
Oh,
You had more likes and dislikes,
no.
but not by much.
Okay.
So you had 42 dislikes.
42 people don't like
So,
cooking.
so yeah, I'm
Got
thinking
it.
to myself, what was it about? I didn't watch the video because I haven't had time. But what was it about your cooking that you think that they disliked?
I don't know. I assume it was a grip on his 60 accounts because he was mad that I was eating.
Was it your knife work? We using a glass cutting board again because I think that's a good
No,
one.
I actually took the advice of everybody from last time and used a regular cutting board.
Nice. That was wise. Don't use a glass cutting board. Okay.
Well,
So,
we,
so they
we
said,
heard it here, folks. No more Cheshcraft. It's canceled.
yeah, unless she gets 100 likes, it's been canceled. But anyways, I am back. I came back from Fullerton, West Covina area yesterday. As you can tell, I was in studio. That's me right there. Wait, over here. We were at the Reasons to Believe building, which is a 26,000 square foot building. It is monstrous. I mean, I got lost more than once, even though poor Anastasia showed me the directions a couple times and I still got lost. She is the secretary for Reasons to Believe and the showrunner for this particular show, which I'm not going to tell you the name yet because it's not really official, but we spent several hours working on name, concepts, and design sets. This is not the set that we were using. This is a different set, but we wanted to get a practice run. And we had about 45 minutes of discussion between myself and Dr. Fuz Rana, who's a biochemist over here. And they loved it. They were just enamored by the discussion and pretty much I hope exactly what they wanted because they seemed to indicate that what we were talking about and how we were talking about things from a position of a non-believer. Wait, over here. Wait, non-believer to believer. That's their goal because this show is going to be on the Reasons to Believe channel, but it doesn't. They don't want it to be an evangelistic show. They don't want it to be about Christianity. They don't want it to be about God. They want it to be about discussions. Yeah, that too. Is that your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. They want to be about discussions, and well, that's kind of what I do around here. So, anyways, uh,
Everybody send love to my mom. She's got a bit of a cold.
she got cold, and I had allergies today. I was dying too. So I thought we might like talk about what you guys think we should put it into this show for concepts and things like that. Like I said, they're still taking ideas. I pitched a few things. I know that they want to have like a phone a friend. And so what we decided was I'm going to make a list of people that I know, preferably pretty educated people, PhDs, but not necessarily. It could be anybody really, but somebody who knows about a particular topic. They don't have to have the piece of paper, but I mean, like I would be happy to get Dapper Dino and Jackson Wheat, those guys. But what it would be when we get asked questions from the live chat, if there's something that like Fuzz or I are not that familiar with, or just want to have somebody come in, we call that person up, like phone a friend, and just have them come on the dialogue. How cool is that? And if you want to be a part of that, let me know. Don't let me know right now. It's going to be a while, but hey, thank you, Kino, for becoming a beginner level member. We appreciate it. And I think that's going to be fun. I think that I'm going to actually have a lot of people. I've already got one or two people that have expressed interest. A PhD friend of mine, I'm not going to say who, but somebody in the community that hasn't been around too much, but they expressed definitely. They were like, if you do this, I would love to be able to
Oh, can I guess? Can I guess? No, I'm not.
You can guess, but you can guess off air. I mean, or you can just message me.
Nah, it's fine.
You can message. I'll just tell you if you're right or wrong.
That's okay.
Really? Oh, come on.
Okay.
You get one guess. I'll tell you right or wrong, but you get.
No. I don't want to ruin it.
All right, whatever. It's not Reds.
Nobody said Reds. They said Rad.
Okay, it was not Rad either.
Amateurs.
Yeah. No, like I said, there's been a few people that I think have expressed interest. I'm probably pretty sure we can get Dr. Sygart. I'm pretty sure we can get. I don't know, a plethora of people. So I'll be arranging that. But if you guys think that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. Or if you got questions on what's this entailing, because I'm still working my way through it. I was really kind of amazed that they had asked me, of all people, and they were just the nicest people in the world, by the way. I talked to Dr. Hugh Ross for a while again, who I met before, and he remembered quite well. Just one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Now, I don't agree with him on a lot of things, don't get me wrong, but he still is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And his wife is just so nice. I mean, the kind of couple that are just honest to God, just sweet people, that's them. And she was actually involved in the discussions for the show, the naming, the design. She's intricately involved in all this stuff. So it was kind of nice. But anyway, what do you got for us, Chesh? I mean, you got any questions on this? What do you think so far? I mean, because this is going to be integrated with the Non Sequitur show and the Great Debate Community. It is going to be, we're going to figure it out, but somehow we're going to link it together with some of the guests we've had on the Non Sequitur show to talk about discussions we've had. So it is going to be definitely something that's integrated. And so when we're talking about something on the Non Sequitur show, we can talk about it on Reasons to Believe as well. There's going to be an overlap there, and they're going to
I think it'll be nice, because I think Non Sequitur kind of made a little bit of a negative turn when it started trying to be atheistic alone, because there's more to talk about and more discussions to be had, and there's no reason to isolate people out, because people are people, and why should it be that you and I should get along so awfully?
I thought it took a turn when we started talking about Kyle's dating life.
Oh, it was before that, but yeah.
That was way when it took a turn.
I'm actually currently working on doing a TLDR, because we have a lot of new people coming in, and so I want my last TLDR video actually went pretty well, so I was going to do a TLDR for Non Sequitur, and I started writing that, so I was looking at old Non Sequitur episodes, and there's a little bit in there that's
Yeah, I think a too long didn't read would be great. I know Nicholas Suter has one, but
he's got one in the in time one is pretty good. But I figured I'd do one of my own.
Yeah, I think it's time for another episode, part 2 kind of thing. By the way, like I said, you didn't catch it.
Updates,
that's Dr. Fuz Rana right there. We got along spectacularly. Had a great congenial conversation with him. He got sick the next day, so he wasn't in the design meeting. We went out to lunch, and it was kind of funny because he got a burger, right? And he ordered it well done. And we're all going, dude, you don't ever order a burger well done. What kind of connoisseur are you? And he goes, well, it's a bigger burger, so it has a lot of surface area for more bacteria. And he's a biochemist, right? And
Oh yeah, I guess.
and so we're like okay, yeah, but it's beef, you know, it's beef. It's not like it's chicken, okay? You can get beef medium rare if you want. I mean, because the bacteria is all seared off because it doesn't penetrate deep into the meat. He knows all this. But anyways, we're kind of mocking him for it, right? The next day he calls and he's got food poisoning supposedly. So,
No.
yeah.
Oh no.
So he wasn't feeling well. Now I don't know if that's related or not, but it was definitely we were like,
Well, it
no
could have been
way.
for anything, but oh,
Right.
that's hilarious.
I'll tell him
People are
that.
suggesting.
Hey, Fuzz, my co-host on the other show that was hilarious. You got sick. That's the kind of person she is. Goblin.
Yes, I mean to be fair, yes.
It was pretty fun though.
Steve's already throwing me under the bus for his new show.
Right. Trade one in for another. That's all I do. I traded Kyle in for you. I'm trading you in for Fuz Rana. I'm just upgrading every time.
People are suggesting that I do a trilogy of TLDR. I'll probably do more than 3, to be honest. If there's enough topics to cover or there's enough things that people are interested in that want me to look into, I'll look into it. Just send me messages with what you think would be interesting or worth covering. And no, I really don't want to do UNIROCK. And also, no, I really don't want to do like Onision because that shit's been covered to death.
I know. I know Nikki Davis wants to do Onision, and she has amazing.
I know she
notes,
does,
but
but I think she should do it.
That's what I'm cool with that. Let her do it, but I know she doesn't have a channel though.
So she can make her own channel.
Yeah. Moon for $5 says love y'all. Aww.
And I also know that there are other people that are planning on covering UNIROCK, so I would rather not steal their thunder or anything like that.
Moon loves you, by the way.
And I love Moon.
Moon is awesome. But yeah, I have nothing to add to UNIROCK. You look at if you guys don't know by now what you need to know about him, there's no help for you. It's just I can't save the world, and if people are that stupid that they want to like give PayPal money for this guy for him to lie to you, hey, if they're getting entertainment out of it, by all means, you know, I don't care one way or another. I guess I was told today by somebody though that he was like wanted to debate me, and I was like, you could shove that up your you know what, that ain't happening.
I actually did write a TLDR about last night. I wrote a TLDR last night, and it's actually on my Patreon.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did. I read that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote one about like essentially that situation and put the video links. It's on my Patreon. I can probably read it if we want to later tonight.
No problem with that. I thought you meant like you did a video on it.
No, I haven't done a video on it. I could turn what I did do into a video, but I don't think it's really worth it. But yeah, I could do the TLDR of what happened. I can read out what I ended up writing because like last night's video was like live stream was kind of a culmination of a few issues coming to a head.
Awesome.
So there's awesome. A little bit of it was, but there's like a little bit of history that people might not be aware of.
Oh no, there's a lot of history people weren't aware of.
Summer, and my TLDR kind of covers what had gone on this past summer.
Yeah, I don't want to go into great details because I like to say this video doesn't get demonetized for a change of certain words like RA.
I would just call it RA.
Yeah, all right. So, but anyways, last night when we were on the Elusive Man's channel, formerly known as DEFANGO,
Danger Zone.
That Danger Zone went from the Danger Zone to the oh my god, what the hell is going on here? Zone where like for 4+ hours, and
people keep lighting my dumpster on fire.
It was a train wreck to hell, and it was glorious because again, not to go into great details, you can go watch the video. I'll put it in the video description later. But the long story short, too long didn't read version is that somebody came in by the name of Science First and basically obliterated not only all his own arguments, but made everybody else on that side of the fence look like complete idiots. And people.
Well, they also made themselves look like idiots by their actions in the live chat. So
because
you can see the people that are cheering him on in the live chat and tell that they were destroying their own arguments.
Yeah, pretty much what it was. And so I haven't talked about a lot of things, and last night was one of the first nights I actually did talk about things because I was in one of those moods I just didn't care. And Chess talked about things, and what happened was he kept shutting Chess down, not letting her speak, even though, you know, she is a woman, but according to him, I guess she doesn't have a right to speak about her experiences because they don't mean anything. He seemed to invalidate her.
I don't have a degree.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true story. All your stories are invalid about your personal experiences because you, quote, you don't have a physics degree, and he does. So
Yep.
That was his.
That was
basically
one
his
of the
defeater.
highlights. The
Yeah.
other highlight, I think, is when he kept spamming saying that to play a link, that he didn't link to us. And then when he finally linked it, it went to a privated video that we couldn't watch.
That was a riot. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, we ran out this time for a link, and it was a private video. And by the
And
way,
then he promised specifically a groveling apology to everybody if that video didn't say what he said it did. And guess what? It didn't say what he said it did. And guess what? He left as soon as it played and said, "See, I made my point," and left.
Yeah, he played the perfect game of pigeon chess, right? Pigeon chess, pigeon chess. Yeah, pigeon chess. That's gonna be a new thing. Pigeon chess.
Now I'm a pigeon,
and a pigeon,
and a cow, and a goblin, and I'm just continuously transitioning through each one of those things. A pigeon?
But that is exactly what happened. He made a claim that I knew was a lie. I knew his claim was just BS.
Oh, 3 of us that were in the hangout were in the call of the video he was talking about.
Yeah, so I knew that he was full of it. I absolutely
so did I, and so did Reds, because all 3 of us were there.
And we told him, okay, if this does not say what you say it does, he said, did he not say he would apologize?
Yeah, but we said that we would apologize and admit to whatever he wanted. But he had to apologize in return if it didn't say what he said it did.
And he played the video.
His claim is that you made a knowledge claim
about somebody
about something, right. And then we played the video, and you specifically in the video said, "I'm not making a knowledge claim. I'm making a claim about my personal belief."
Actually, 2 things. So I can clarify for the people watching that did see it last night. It was not just a knowledge claim, but again, not to go into too much detail, so I keep this monetized. Right. He made a claim that I said somebody was lying.
Yes.
I never made a claim somebody was lying. Everybody knows that I didn't make that claim. That's what he had to substantiate by the video, which he did not do. Once we played the video, he legit just said, "I messed my case, blah, blah, blah," and he left like a little, what. That shows you the quality of these people. So I was just absolutely on cloud 9 because in real time, he just demolished everything about his arguments and other people that are cheering him on. There was like 3 people in the live chat, just fanatics, just cheering. No matter what he said, it didn't matter. They would cheer him on. The way he treated you, they were cheering him on. But anyways, that's a different thing altogether. But if you guys watched that last night, it was definitely something else, to say the least. So
I would like to point out real quick that that has been sitting there for months. I've been waiting to set that one off. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, "Ooh, goody."
He walked right into that with you. Walked right into it.
Yep.
So that's what we did last night, and kind of took a. After that, we were just done. We were just exhausted. However, I will fill you in a little bit.
I got to have fun on Twitter today.
Well, before you get into that, before you get into like reading your 2 long didn't read, should I tell them about the phone call that I got real quick? Not to go too much into it, but because we didn't.
Yeah, go for it. Why not? We may as well. We did promise we would update people, so
yeah. Yeah, I promised I would update people.
We should also specify that the only reason we would even bother bringing this up again is because we promised we would tell you guys if something happened with it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, I like to keep my promises, obviously, even though if I don't really like getting brought back into things. I know a lot of people have tried, but I've tried to maintain a reasonable distance. However, when new things come to bear, I think I have an obligation of some kind to my audience to kind of fill you in. So, anyways. I had a phone call last night. I had a phone call from the person that I refer to as Person M. Person M was somebody that received screenshots, supposedly from Katie Joy Paulson, in regards to what Katie had said to the death of a child relating to Leslie Bass's sister Flossie. Now, people have accused Person M of being Kim. People accused Person M of being me, Chesh, and a bunch of other people. None of which was true. We already knew this. I know who Person M is. I know her name. I have her Facebook now. Kim did a video on it. She got some things incorrect that Person M wanted to address and will still might address. But the video itself, a lot from Kim's perspective, the chronology is pretty much how I remember it exactly. From Person M's perspective, there were some discrepancies of what Kim was saying, but I think that was just because Kim had made some minor mistakes in remembering things properly. But Person M is not a technological advanced person. She is a complete Luddite, as I mentioned before. She doesn't understand how any of this stuff really works. But She gave some information about person X, about where exactly she met person X, how she got information from person X, the person that supposedly was talking to Katie Joy in the screenshots. I'm going to convey that information to certain people. Maybe they can help track down person X from there, because I only so much I can do. But it's the only real lead we've had, because we've hit a stone wall because people kind of asked me to back out of it, which I had. And because I have a little bit more information now, and I promised that if I got anything more, I would tell you guys. I'm keeping that promise. If I find anything more than that, I will let you know as well. But I will tell you definitively, person M is not Kim. Myself, Chesh, Kim, none of us faked a damn thing. We didn't fake any emails. We didn't fake any screenshots. None of that had anything to do with us. Was there some screenshots that possibly could have been faked relating to something else? Maybe. I don't know. Supposedly Brittany and Frederica had something going on. I have no idea. I didn't understand any of that by ferreting out some mole. I didn't bother with it. I didn't care about it. And I told people, look, if there's a mole, let him mole. I don't care. I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody. So that was a non-factor to me. But the screenshots, the original screenshots, I totally believe are legit. Completely, I am convinced they are legit. The emails, I'm about 90.
And let's specify, that's a belief claim.
That's a belief claim,
not a knowledge claim.
Yeah, it's totally belief. I'm not saying that I know.
People don't seem to understand the difference.
They don't.
A knowledge claim is whether or not you have additional information about something and have information about information. If you have a belief claim, you believe something, and there may or may not be information missing from that. And so it's liable to be changed as new information comes in.
Yeah, all knowledge claims are beliefs claims, but not all belief claims are knowledge claims. There's a huge difference there, right?
So not all birds are ducks, but all ducks are birds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I'm not saying that I know those screenshots are real, but I believe them that they are real. I'm convinced that they are real. But I do know that person M is not me, Chesh, or Kim. That I do know. That is a knowledge claim. And I do know that person does not know much about Facebook or messaging. She's just an older woman that this is all kind of new to her, and she didn't want to get in the spotlight. I understand why, but her name was put out there, and so she felt like the only person she could trust was me. She has told me this. She said, Steve, you're the only person that have gotten things right. You're the only person who seems to care about the facts. You're the only person that hasn't dissed me or screwed me over, because she feels like some people had, and I respect that. So person M is somebody who actually trusts me because I have been consistent. I've kept my promises. I've always told you guys the truth. I have not lied to you once. I've been very specific on what I've said and what I don't say. And anybody out there who thinks that I, Chesh, or Kim have done anything unethical or dishonest or in any way shady, they're lying to you. They're straight up lying to you. Matter of fact, when they were trying to say that person M was Kim, we all know that was nonsense. Right, but people.
Well, we can also specify there's a difference between making a knowledge claim. There's a difference between making a claim about belief, and then there's a difference between going down a hypothetical. You do run into trouble when you are not clear which one you are referring to. If you start going down a hypothetical and say, well, if this, then this, then this, then this, but then claim that your conclusion is true, you can't use a hypothetical to get to a conclusion.
Right, exactly. That's what actually running narrative actually is, trying to draw a conclusion from a hypothetical. That's something we'll never do.
One way, yeah.
You could draw inference and you could say, well, it's possible this, or let's discuss this. But to say it's a definitive conclusion, as if it's a deductive argument, is straight up wrong. And now there are people that do that, obviously.
Yeah, it's when you start pushing that one conclusion is more likely than any other based off a hypothetical where you start running into problems.
Yeah, and let me reiterate one more time.
And you start confusing people.
Somebody had asked, I thought you were washing your hands of all this stuff, my dude. I did, and I still have, but I still keep my promises. You have to understand, I will always keep my promises to my audience. And
we promised that if we got more information, we would let you guys know no matter what. So that promise is just a holdover. We got some more information, and we're just letting you know that we have that information.
Yeah. Is person M someone called Lori? Yes, that is her name, Lori. I'm not doxing her because it's already out there now. She's fine with that. But that is her name. Yes. So I can confirm Kim was right on that. You had a private
conversation with her confirming that.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the new information. I'll get that to certain people where maybe they can suss more out of it, because I do have a little bit more information on person X now than I did before, and we'll see how that goes. Because I mean, obviously, we'd love to.
Well,
to
person
find
X
a person, but
person M is considering is looking for a platform potentially. So we'll do what we can to get her to a platform where it will be appropriate, which will not be this channel because, as we've said, Steve is stepping out. We just want to make sure you guys knew because we promised we would tell you.
Is that cool? Does that make sense? All right. All right. So moving on to your thing. Okay. So you had a fun experience on Twitter.
This dense.
Don't curse. No cursing. I want one video that not cursing. I know it's weird on my channel not to curse, right? If I can do it, you can. Come on.
This dense diaper eater.
Okay, I guess that
this
works.
This is funky bull shrimp.
This is freaking bull shrimp.
Good thing we didn't bring Dawson in.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't have worked. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I had an interaction on Twitter where somebody decided to post on my post about how I didn't really want to have this conversation, but was kind of forced to have this conversation publicly. Go ahead and make a bunch of claims that we're gaslighting and say that we were saying things that we didn't say. So I said, and then at the very end of their 3-tweet address, which was mainly issues with Steve, which they decided to inappropriately post on my post. And he's not blocked by Steve. Well, I mean, they might be now, but they weren't at the time. And
he's not blocked.
And they were also already following Steve before he privated, so they had access to Steve, but they decided to come to me instead to make this complaint, which again had nothing to do with me or what I had said. And I said, at the very end of their 3-tweet long little tirade, they decided to say, well, but I don't really want to talk about it. And I was like, okay, I will respect your desire to not talk about this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll write up a little. There's a lot to unpack here. So I'm going to write that up and I will send you like a file or I'll put a drop link or something so people can read my response to it. And they were like, oh, okay. But then they decided to get into it with Steve. So I was like, okay, well, I guess we're having the conversation here then. And they acted like they just didn't have information or didn't know, but did it in an accusatory manner. So I was like, okay, well, let's give them the charity. Let's say, well, maybe they don't know and maybe they've just gotten confused because there are people actively out there trying to confuse people and trying to conflate things. We answered their questions, and then they started asking us questions that were unrelated to us. They started asking us questions about the case, and we told them, well, go look at the case. You can find the information. It's public. And I asked them, how much of this have you actually looked into? How much have you interacted? And they were like, well, none. Why are you even telling me to do that? Well, because if you want to draw a conclusion based on something, you need to look at the information that's out there. And if you're just going to ignore everything that one person is saying about the issue, then you're not looking at all of the information.
Oh, so okay, so I didn't know this. The Too Long Didn't Read on your Patreon was written for him?
No.
Oh, it's somebody else. Okay.
This was before that. It's not for anybody. It was just, I just wrote it for the Patreons and stuff. It's not addressing this person. You just asked me about my Twitter thing. So
yeah, okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, so I as you know,
at the end of the day, I blocked them after they tried to use a victim's experience to make a really crummy analogy to try and make Steve look like he wasn't, like, to frame Steve in a poor light.
Which is all we're trying to do.
And I called them out for doing that, and their response was, "Oh, sorry, I offended you." And I'm like, "I'm not offended. I'm calling you out for your poor behavior."
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because
as a deflection.
You watch it in real time happen. You watch these people that cannot actually have an argument. They actually have to always make it something very.
Oh, you personal. And I sending us threats in the chat. Ooh. Ooh.
What? No, I don't think they're being serious.
Oh, I doubt that. There's no way. If they're serious, then oh dear. Oh, I'm sorry, but he seems to have missed his chance last night. What a shame.
Long story short, Uni was supposed to have a discussion with Elusive Man last night, and I was like, oh, news to me. I'll go watch this. Why not? He didn't show, so it ended up being myself, Cheshire, Dick Dawson. Who else was
Dick
it?
Kennedy. Bull was there for a little while. Reds ended up coming in. A girl named Chrissy and Boone. Yeah.
So we held it for like 4 hours, just dismantled this guy.
5.
Science First, who did a debate with Reds a while back, and he looked pretty bad then. He looked worse now. I mean, just nutter. And so when I tell people that there's a lot of insane people out there, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. It is straight up.
Giving how I can't decide which one Uni has more of. I can't tell if he hates you more or if he loves Reds more. Like if his crush for Reds is higher than his hate for you, because like that stream would have been great because you were there and Reds ended up showing.
Yeah, he seems to want Reds' approval and attention, and it's weird.
He's just not getting it, and it's just all.
I know, it's like unrequited love. Because I
also heard like you and that one lady with that flower thing.
You want to know the new rumor? Reds is like madly in love with you, and like so am I, and we're like battling to the death for your hand or something like that.
I actually read
and you married AT2. You like ran out to like Vegas or something, got married to like AT2 Productions or something. I don't know. It's very confusing. I'm trying to figure it out myself.
I read an article today about how a woman who's 35 in London. I read it on the Daily Mail that she had her ex-husband and her lover medieval style fight to the death for her hand in a back alleyway, and the ex-husband ended up dead.
Well, I guess there'll only be one, right?
Yeah, I guess. So she's going to jail.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. I don't think I'd even take a punch for you, but that's okay. I mean,
everybody go tease Reds about how he's madly in love with me and how
well, it could be this. Now, I could have got this confused. I mean, this is like 2020. It could have been the rumor is Reds is madly in love with me.
Oh.
I mean, unless you think otherwise, in which case I'm just going to call you a bigot.
It would be just as valid.
Yeah, exactly. Because if not,
Reds is an equal opportunist.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't be all bigoted and stuff, man. It could be, it could be about me. I never know. Or maybe I was going to say, I would know if I was in love with Reds, I think, wouldn't I? I think that. Unless I'm keeping it deep down inside. It's like just being pushed down.
You've got the joy.
No, see, I know. You know why I know? Okay, I'll tell you what. You know why I know why I'm not in love with Reds? Because I actually know what he looks like. So that is like a perfect defeater for that.
Wait, Uni's never seen what Reds looks like.
No, he hasn't.
No.
He could be standing next to him one day and he wouldn't even know it.
Wouldn't even know.
But of course, they're best buddies, I guess, because I guess they talk all the time.
Hey, Dick Kennedy's here, and so is Dick. Hi, guys. Yay. Are we going to get demonetized for saying Dick's name?
No, because that's the first name. Okay. It's Richard.
All right. Yeah. Well, is his first name Richard?
That's what it goes by on the. I have no idea if his first name is Richard, but that's what it's usually for. Are we going to try to dox him now?
No, I was just asking. Now I'm curious. It's probably completely unrelated. His name probably isn't Dick or Richard. Yeah. His name's probably like Sam.
No, it's probably something like Dweezil Moon Unit Zappa or something. You've seen him. Come on.
His name is Moonbeam. He's been doxed.
That's Moonbeam.
Now you do realize that now, Dick, you have to go onto your Twitter, leave your name as Dick Dawson, and then in brackets put Moonbeam.
Now, God's Otter watched that thing last night, and God's Otter liked us to drink, but even he wasn't prepared for that last night, and he's still drinking. He's still started last night. He hasn't stopped since yesterday. Okay, so that's.
I would love to hear. We should do a rum and coke about this and actually hear everybody's feedback. I think.
I thought we were going to do a caffeine corner recap on it.
Well, we'll do a little bit more of a recap on Caffeine Corner, but I just mean for everybody else to come in and say what they want to say. I mean, we get to say whatever we want all the time, so giving everybody else a chance to come in and say what their thoughts are on the matter might be a good idea.
All right. Well, let's see here. What is today? Friday?
Friday.
I think we could do a rum and coke tomorrow night.
Well, how about we do this then? In the chat right now, everybody in the chat, one, if you're interested in coming in to talk to us about what happened yesterday, ask us questions about whatever you want, or just give us your thoughts on what had happened. And two, in the chat, if you wouldn't be interested in that.
Well, you already know they're going to be interested because they're just paid to like be followers and do whatever we want.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, shills. I put the link in the video in the live description. I'll put it in the video description later, but yeah. Save it for later, but go check that out later. It was definitely worth the view because this guy got annihilated, and it legit is everything we've always been saying about this crowd. I haven't talked much about it. There are personal reasons, but it's nothing because I'm afraid of any of these people. They are legit stupid. So I will go one-on-one with any of them. If it wasn't for certain ones of them, I do have very personal reasons never to ever talk to them. But Science First wasn't one of those people I had personal reasons against. He came on later after the fact, so I couldn't, in good conscience, say, well, I don't want to talk to him because I had personal reasons against him. He's just an idiot. So I'm happy to have discussed it with him at some point, and I did last night. But he kept interrupting everybody every 2 seconds and then blaming it on lag. Let me tell you, there was no lag. There was initially a video playing in the background, but Chess, you know why I know there was no lag?
Oh, I could probably guess.
Because every time you started talking, he legit waited for you to start talking and then interrupted. When I was talking and I asked him a question, he answered within a second.
Same with AT2.
And
I was actually the only person he was interrupting for the most part.
Yep.
And then when I was finished talking, there was like varying amounts of seconds before he would answer.
Right? It was like 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 9 seconds.
No. It was like 9 seconds.
Yeah, no,
14
I
seconds.
I count.
12 seconds. Don't minimize the amount of time. It was just dead air of his brain.
It varied.
Exploding.
Like he was just faking it. I don't know. Again, I don't trust any of those guys. But there was another video out there that I probably should like mention. I don't remember his name. But Dead Kenny in Space would remember, and Dick Dawson would remember. Who was the guy that just did a video? Basically calling out Uni and
that was Thoughts by Jay Brown.
Thoughts by Jay Brown. Is that his name? Thoughts by Jay Brown?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I wasn't that familiar with him, but that was a very good video. So
I've talked to him a couple times. He's a super nice guy. Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, we want to have him come on one day because I was like, he did a really good job. So yeah, I was screaming. By the way, let me tell you something. When I'm screaming, I'm not really mad. It's just that I don't have that many emotions, but when I see somebody that freaking stupid, I do get a little passionate because he was legit irritating people. He kept stepping on people. He kept on not answering questions and kept dodging. And it got to the point where, like, you're just dishonest, man. You are straight up dishonest, which I already knew, but we wanted to point it out to people, which is kind of what we do. So.
Well, that was one of the reasons why I had the Twitter engagement that I did. I gave the person as much charity as I could until they were straight up being dishonest and lying about what we said over and over and over again, even after we clarified it. And it's like, that's not what we're talking about. You're telling us that we should have to justify to you what you feel like you should think about the situation. No, go do the research and figure out for yourself. It's not our job to feed you everything. We're not going to spoon feed you the information. Go find it. It's not our responsibility, and it's also not our responsibility to actually answer your asinine questions.
God hates us all.
Especially your not necessarily your asinine questions. You're asked about things that have already been addressed and have been months ago. But your asinine accusations.
Yeah, God hates us all. That's a fair question. He says, just out of curiosity, what happened with these certain people that made you have to get away from them and never utter their names? They did some things that were so reprehensible that even I don't even want to talk about, nor am I able to talk about out of certain promises that I made to certain people, both living and dead.
If you watch the video from last night, essentially that kind of behavior over and over and over again on various topics with various people in various circumstances essentially gets to be a point where why would you bother interacting with them at all anymore?
Yeah, and it just anything that happens will just add credibility. Well, not credibility to them, but it'll add they'll get some some exposure, and some of the people are just not worth having an exposure. Not because what they say is true, it's because they are so evil people, so morally reprehensible people that any exposure to them, I'm not going to give them. They get it from other people, they're not going to get it from me. And I just, like I said, I made certain
they all have their own
promises, and I just to myself, to be true to myself and ethical to myself. I'm not in good conscience ever mentioned some of their names or talk about them on air, and so I haven't. Some of them I have. I mean, some obviously I've talked about Fiona because she made a video, but for the most part I don't talk about any of them. But Fiona's, she decimated herself. She didn't mean.
Did you see on Twitter that Science First guy threatened or is threatening or saying that he's going to flag out Elusive Man's video from last night for defamation? And I was like, oh really? Does self-owning count? You defamed yourself.
Yeah, it's so funny that they want to shut down stuff because Fiona actually gave me a defamation claim. Mm-hmm. And that was on the video that I did for Leslie, the whole charity thing. The super chat thing. It wasn't Porpoise that did it, and I found that out, and I did apologize to her. But it was Fiona. She actually admitted that she flagged my video for defamation. These people could dish it out, but they can't take it. because I gotta tell you, go to Chess's channel. Chess isn't afraid. She has accused her of very explicit things that I, by the way, I haven't even had on my channel. So good luck with flagging me on my channel. But Chess has made very explicit claims for Fiona, and she's more than happy to double down, triple down, and take her on with it.
I demonstrated it last night.
So
I'll demonstrate it again.
She's the goblin. Fine. She's, you know what? I don't know. Again, I think they're scared of you because they always try to character assassinate me. They really don't do much with you. They just kind of throw little pot shots, but.
Well, they throw pot shots at me, but they explicitly try to blame whatever I've done on you also. So if I say something, they're like, "Oh, Steve, how could you say this?" And I'm like,
"Steve, why? Why, Steve?
How could Steve do this thing?"
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I was gone for like what, almost 2 full weeks, give or take. You know, but did you guys notice that she actually did her own thing? She didn't have me giving marching orders. Like,
wow.
Right? At first, I felt like it's kind of like I'm not needed or wanted any longer, you know. So I was a little disappointed. But to find out she's actually competent and capable of having her own thoughts without having me having her around, surprised, right?
I just didn't do my Owen Wilson impression. Wow. Wow.
Well, you know, one day though, like I said, I've got other things I got to do, which are far more important. By the way, they can do whatever they want. Reasons to Believe. Reasons to Believe knows all about my history. They vetted me. They know all about this stuff. They've been following me for a very long time. And some of the people that have been in my
straight up stalk you across the internet.
Oh, it was great.
They stalked you all the way through Facebook's 2Texix, and then stalked you all the way to Elusive Man's channel, and then stalked you all the way to UNIROCK's before that. Like, they just stalked you everywhere.
It's great because some of them were actually in a hangout with Fuz Rana and Hugh, and so they're like, oh yeah, they love the fact that these people have been coming after me because they get to basically go, hey, screw you too. So they in some odd way, the McCrazies have helped me get where I'm at because they know all about all that stuff. They know all about Fiona's video. They don't care because they recognize that this is a topic of discussion in general of how people will, instead of having discussions about the arguments, talk about them as character assassination things. And we see that with Christians as well. Fuz Rana has had character assassination. Ross has had character assassination. Now, again, I don't agree with them on a lot of things, but they are legit good people. They are nice people. Ross has Asperger's. He doesn't even know, I don't think, how to lie or be mean. He thinks the whole world, he sees it through this weird filter of everybody's a nice person. He looks for legit the nice about everybody. And he doesn't understand mockery very much. He doesn't understand why somebody would even mock anybody or be hurtful to anybody. He's that kind of guy. And it's kind of not...
It's almost like these people who have also kind of been treated poorly by these people who are going after you are actually getting vindication through you because they're still going after you and yet you're succeeding.
Yeah. MO for $2 says, wearing an Epic Games jacket, Steve? No. This yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, this is Epic Team. Yeah. So Epic Games jacket.
No, it is.
It is. I didn't think about it. Yeah, I guess it is. So, yeah.
He's a liar.
I'm a liar. You know me. Somebody else made this and I just stole it like I did the GDC, according to some people.
For all $30 it was worth.
For $30, right? Yeah. That's
split between like 17 people.
That's the new narrative. I guess Uni wants to do a documentary on the GDC, and I'm like, wow, you really are bottom of the barrel digging. Go for it. Anybody who still thinks that I ever stole anything from the GDC clearly has not been around for a while. So.
If I'm going to do, if I do end up doing a TLDR, it'll probably be of that.
Which wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, I don't care one way or another.
If I'm actually going to bother responding to a single damn thing Uni ever actually says again, that's probably going to be it. Because that would be entertaining as hell. Because it's going to be so incredibly wrong.
Well, like I said, the GDC made $30 until long after, even after the G Plus went away. So $30 is not really.
Still this thing that doesn't exist. Wow.
Yeah, well, it's funny because here's the legit thing, right? the name Great Debate Community came from a guy named Agent of Doubt. It's just a name bantered about, and it was a very small people that kind of used it. But I was the one that like, hey, you know what? I have an idea. I like this name. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna make a G Plus group. We're gonna promote it. We're gonna have I'll get a webpage, www.greatdebatecommunity.com, which I own the domain, have for years. I'm going to make a YouTube channel that we can all kind of use. I'm gonna have my own personal channel, which I've had forever, and then we can use it to promote individual channels. And other people, guess what? They've done this, and it worked for them. In time, started promoting on that channel. It's helped them out. Even the Geek Room got started by putting stuff on there, and other people started using it. It was just a kind of catch-all, and then we have it for other things. Matter of fact, one of the greatest hangouts of all time was with R and Raw and GCat. That was on that channel.
GCat.
Seriously, was that like the funniest hangout of ever?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I didn't watch it until decently after the fact. You were like, you need to go watch this. And because I didn't know who G-Man was.
So
and he was like, you need to watch this. And he sent me this video and I was just like, oh.
But that's the story. And so like a year later, I started doing well on my channel, and they weren't doing well because all they wanted to do was talk crap. And I wanted to actually have conversations with like Dr. Fuz Rana and Hugh and other people. They weren't really interested in that. And then they got pissed because I had a hangout with them one time. That I when you do something with reasons to leave, just like you do with anybody, you get a contract kind of thing. This is
Did the ACA ever use it?
Did the ACA what?
Did the ACA ever use the GDC?
No.
Okay.
No. And so I have to abide by certain parameters when I have a certain guest on, and so they wanted to go outside those parameters to kind of ambush and sandbag, and I wasn't going to let that happen, and they got pissed at me for that. And so what? This is why I have a great rapport with Reasons to Believe, because I kept to the four corners of that. I guess I call it a writer or contract, whatever you want to call it. They give you a bunch of stuff that has, this is how long the show is the channel's going to be on, this is the type of audio it is. They get very specific because this is, their business, just like any other business would do. And so I have to abide by that. And the fact that I did, that really raised me up in their eyes quite a bit, because they know that I wasn't out to try to manipulate anybody. I wasn't trying to sandbag anybody. I wanted to have the actual discussions. And again, my discussion with Fuz Rana, even though it was a demo kind of thing for 45 minutes, and I don't know if it's ever going to get released, it was really good. It was really fun. So that's the story with the GDC. Nothing was ever stolen. As a matter of fact, the whole channel came much later on, and it only made like $30. It wasn't anything profitable. And when people are saying, well, we didn't make any money on it, they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to promote their channels, but they decided not to because they were just talking crap. That's the entire story of the GDC. Anybody who says I stole it is a complete idiot. I mean, absolute complete idiot. And so, how do you make a documentary on something so inane?
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. It's going to be so incredibly wrong. It's going to be so incredibly full of like half information and probably a lot of speculation. Like you've said multiple times, including in this hangout, how much the GDC was worth and how much it actually made.
I showed the numbers.
I
actually showed the numbers.
That's not the number that's going to be said, if one is even said.
I'm still willing to show the numbers. I mean, it didn't make that much. How much do people think that they make? This was before Super Chats, even.
Yeah, this was a YouTube channel before Super Chats. But the main thing they're complaining about was the G Plus community,
which they all loved, by the way, for a year. They're like, yeah, there was.
It's not a platform that makes any money. It's just a forum.
Yep.
So they're complaining about something that they wouldn't. There's nothing to get. And keep in mind, I would also like to point out, as far as I'm aware, at no point did you ever say that you would strike or take down or even actually did any of these things if somebody else decided to start another one with that name.
Never.
There you go.
Not once. But it's been so many years now. The Great Debate community, since I branded it and since I am trademarking it, I've already talked to my lawyer. We've started certain things on that.
Now, years after.
Yeah, now. I did what's called a poor man's trade man kind of thing. You basically put TM on it and then let people know that you plan to be trademarking it before you do anything with it. Perfectly fine way to trademark, but it's costing $700. But I have to actually talk to him probably tomorrow to finalize that. He's already looked into it. He's looked at the paperwork. We're going to be
that's kind of one of the things that kind of loops back to what we were saying before about with the Non Sequitur Show. With Non Sequitur Show, we don't want to take it into a domain that's only going to be Christians, or a domain that's only going to be atheist, or a domain that's we're not interested in that. We're interested in the discussion between those people, but we're not interested in sandbagging or piling onto somebody or pushing any kind of agenda.
Except for critical
of course
thinking.
not. So we're perfectly fine to have somebody like R and On, and we're going to be perfectly fine to have somebody like probably SJ will come on at some point, and that doesn't. And I do think that
I would expect SJ to come on. I would be disappointed if SJ didn't. She's one of my mods. She better come on.
And like SJ has said some horrible things in the past, But that doesn't mean we condone those things, and that doesn't mean that there isn't a conversation to be had, and it doesn't mean that she's not a person. People are going to be people no matter who they are and what they've done. They're still people, and they should be treated as such.
Yeah, and by the way, nothing exists in a vacuum. If we had to like exclude any guests because they said something we didn't like, we wouldn't have anybody coming on the channels. I mean, we had Matt Powell on for Pete's sake. I mean, he's like the scum of the earth, but we still had him on because we didn't agree with him, and we wanted to. Was he on the non sequitur? I know he's on this channel at least, but was he? I think he was on the non sequitur too, wasn't he? Once.
I don't remember
know.
if Matt Powell.
I know he was on this channel though, but when we had, but you know, people were happy to like to expose how bad his argumentations were. So we have people on we don't agree with. I mean, clearly.
Yeah, we'd be fine to bring on or talk about SJW topics. We're just not interested in SJW tactics.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody from the SJW community decides that they want to come and talk to us, then they need to be open to having a conversation, and we'll have that conversation. The thing is, we're just not going to bring an agenda forward without giving that agenda any pushback.
Yeah. Yes.
Somebody asked if we would have Matt Dillahunty on. I don't see a problem with having that on. If you wanted to come on.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be an issue.
Let's see here.
Do you want me to read my thing?
Yeah, please. Read your Patreon thing.
So it's titled My First Dumpster Fire. This is actually my first dumpster fire, which was kind of exciting. And I kind of caused it. So props to me, I guess. So I said, well, last night was interesting. For those of you who don't know, my partner Steve McRae has been stalked around the internet by a group of awful people who do nothing but try to drag him and anyone around him through the mud. This past summer, one of them, Fiona Robertson, made a video slandering him by saying he was engaging in and is an RP. We're going to call it that because we want this one to stay monetized. The video is titled Steve McRae RP 101. Reds Rhetoric and I worked together to create a video called Calumny and Obloquy, and then I linked the video, which just destroyed that video and the arguments that came from it for a month. We discussed this for a month, probably more, and these people just stepped on anyone and everyone to try and make their point stick. All they could do was move the goalposts. We're not really saying he's an RP, just engaging in it. It was sad. Their argument got nowhere for a month and in circles, and after they begun weaponizing the death of somebody, we cut them off. They still whine and moan and complain and try to bring up things that to anyone who would listen, complaining that we are in the echo chamber because we blocked their craziness. One of them even has a video where they're wearing Steve's face as a mask in their kitchen and saying that we are obsessed and enabling obsessive behavior. What? As if we're obligated to address a damn thing they have to say at this point. I implore anybody who reads this, before you engage us in any questions about what any of these people have to say, ask them to demonstrate it. They can't and won't and should be dismissed to the hole that they are crawling out of. We are not and cannot be expected to address their random slander through other people. Anyway, this came up again last night in what turned into a 5-hour hangout on the Danger Zone. Link the video, because guess who stalked Steve there? Yep, the McCrazies. I made a very specific point that when presented with an example, they had 3 options. 1, eat crow and admit that Steve was not what they claimed. 2, be RPs by their definition. Or 3, engage in actual apologetics. They chose, ding, 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 a combo of 2 and 3. The whole lot of them have now demonstrated how they are all, in fact, apologists to R and assault by the real definition and not just by their stupid made-up one that includes people like any defendant lawyer or the Innocence Project. Here's the debate where they explain the position, speak for victims, and then put down a victim willing to speak, then dare to say that Reds is weaponizing someone's experience. I add the link. These people project so much that every time they make a claim at this point, I immediately think that they are that if they aren't currently doing what they have, that they have done it or would do it. Why? Because that's what they've demonstrated. Well, not much else can be said about these people. They've treated others, victims, women, people with disabilities so poorly and have such low opinions of humans. At this point, they have treated people worse than the convicted R that they're complaining Steve had on his show. to talk about police auditing, by the way, and then I added that link. A person who self-admittedly they have never watched. Oh, and of course they don't care that Steve had David Silverman or Lawrence Krauss or whoever else. Just this one. They stooped such lows to try and paint Steve with his brush that they fell into the paint can. Lead paint. That they drank. Every claim I have witnessed them say about Steve, they have demonstrated that it actually describes them. Side note, if you do come from these people wondering what is going on with Steve and that he's so bad, or I am, or Reds is, how about before you confront us about it, watch our stuff. See if we are actually like that before asking questions. You have to be pretty blind not to notice that the claims fall flat as soon as you actually look at what we say and do. And just everyone remember your C's. Have a good day from me.
Which, by the way, we will be talking more about the C's on the Cat Keen Corner coming up, I think.
Yeah, I'm just going to put the links that I gave in the chat so people have the links that I'm referring to when I say the links.
It is a good point. I mean, people should be judged on their actions. And, anybody that is paying attention can see that Chester and I are not the horrible people that some people have tried to make us out to be. We've shown that people have actually lied. I mean, straight up lied, not even just exaggerated or misinformed, just actually have lied. And these people don't care about that. They're not based upon ethics. They don't care about ethics. Their goal is to character assassinate for whatever reason. They don't like me, and that's fine. They don't have to like me. I don't like them. Matter of fact, I can actually say that I actually hate some of those people with a burning passion. And if they ever did disappear off the face of the earth, I wouldn't shed a tear. That's not a threat. That's just saying if that ever happened, I wouldn't care. But they, for some reason, have a lot of hostility for me for over the years, and they take it out on my friends. But my friends then realize this. They're like, wait a minute. They're lying about, like for example, Chess. Let's say let's say I'm pretending to be Chess right now. So I'm Chess. Let me do a hair. I got all pretty for the show. You know what? They're lying about me. If they're lying about me, they must be lying about Steve. Like that? Did I overdo it there? Does that sound like you? Because I can't.
I think that sounds exactly like me.
I think it's pretty dang good.
I think it was spot on.
Spot on. So as my friends start actually getting involved, they are being lied about by these people. Words are twisted. They're being talked about. They're having videos against them, and they're going, wait a minute. Chester's a good person for the most part for being a goblin. She's like, wait a minute. They're absolutely like lying about me. So why would she not give me the benefit of the doubt that they're lying about me? And of course, she finds out they're lying about me. And this is how I've actually gained a following, because people have actually done their due diligence and go, wait a minute.
Well, that's what happened with Katie, right? Katie was saying all these things about you, and a good number of people actually came over to look and see what you were actually saying. And when they saw what you were actually saying, oh, look, the stuff she was saying wasn't true.
Shocker. Yep. And so, in the long run, it's kind of been advantageous. I think it's been one of those culling and cultivating things.
Well, I would like to point out that there was also another part of last night's hangout that we actually did that we haven't touched on. We actually offered, because Uni never showed up, but we offered that anybody who was following Uni, some of these people used to follow us. Mm-hmm. We offered for them to come in and talk to us, to tell us what was going on or what their thoughts were about the situation. And we've been nothing but respectful to those people in the past. And nope. That nobody showed up. Nobody said a word.
For example, like there's a couple people that are over there. Like one of them is actually a particle physicist, Snow Dog, who I've never had an issue of. He was supposed to come on the show. We've always gone along. Now all of a sudden I'm the scum of the earth, and UNIROCK is this brilliant commentator, and I'm like, you understand particle physics, and yet you cannot see past this guy for being the absolute scum that he is. I mean, that's all he does is lie to people for money. That's what his job is to do. Lie to get PayPal, and he can't see through that. But I'm like, look, if he ever wants to come talk to me about it, he could. But you know what? Instead, he blocks me. Somebody I've never had an issue with. Somebody I'm like, I'm happy to it. And I've did this before with the whole GDC stuff. I said, anybody wants to come and know about what's going on, come to me. And those people that did are still around, except for like one or two. But for the most part,
and there's also something to be said for how you approach somebody, right? If we say come talk to us, we're not mean. That entire conversation that I had on Twitter I didn't get mean to that person until they got mean to me.
Yeah, it took a while for you to finally go. You've had enough, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was like at least an hour and a half to 2 hours where I was perfectly kind and gave them as much charity as I possibly could until they straight up started lying, and I was like, now you're just lying. And I wasn't even mean when I called them out on that. I didn't get mean until they started making excuses and degrading and trying to justify unjustifiable behaviors.
Yeah. By the way, Athena was in that show too last night.
Yes.
Athena, if you have any,
Hi, Athena.
if you recall anything different, please let us know. If you think that we have changed anything or exaggerated or anything has been taken out of context,
Oh, that's
by all
something that
means.
I think we should probably cover maybe on a caffeine corner a little bit more. The difference between interrupting rudely to get your point or to force your point across is different than interrupting for clarification.
Right.
If I
Oh,
say
right.
if I say while somebody's talking, hey, sorry, I just want to clarify something real quick.
That's fine.
You stop and say yes, unless you're pushing a narrative, unless you're pushing a book,
Yeah.
unless you're running a script, essentially. Running a script is essentially why, especially if I jump into I want to clarify something before you move on to your next question. That's not me interrupting you. There's a break between one question and the next. I'm not going to go back to question number 1 while we're in the midst of question number 2. You're just going to confuse people. There's something to be said, and you will notice this for the difference between somebody who's been on shows and run shows versus somebody who doesn't. And that's not supposed to be a drag against the person we were talking to. Once he calmed down, he was quite pleasant. However, if you don't run a show, then you don't, and you admittedly don't know how a show works, then your best bet is to take the lead of the people who are running the show or have been on shows, because they're probably going to know more about how to steelman what you're trying to say. Because a lot of the times, if I'm asking for clarification, I'm looking to solidify what you're trying to say and make it cohesive for not just me to understand, but for everybody else to understand as well.
Yeah. I look.
Being understood shouldn't be a bad thing for your argument.
Being interrupted for clarification is perfectly acceptable in a hangout. I mean, in fact, is encouraged, because here's what happens if you don't. If somebody is talking about something and you don't clarify it and they end up speaking for 5 minutes and doesn't address anything because they're off the point, you've just wasted 5 minutes. Or if you're not understanding something, then they wasted it again because you're not understanding. What happened last night, though?
And then you're going to have to actually go all the way back to the first point.
Yeah, start square one again.
Or risk forgetting about it and then have to go over the second point again, and you wasted a lot of time.
But that didn't happen last night. Science First legit was just interrupting you for the sake of interrupting you. And there wasn't lag, because you don't have lag with just one person. Just like UNIROCK uses that excuse for lag.
One person, unless I was the person with the lag, and I was not the person with the lag.
Why is it that lag is one of those things that's kind of like all or nothing? But why is it's always these people that cannot shut up for more than 5 freaking seconds saying there's lag? Uni's one of those people too. He always was talking over people. And then he's like, oh, well, there's lag. Oh, you're so full of crap. It's not lag. It is you not being able to pay attention to the conversation. And you deliberately trying to shut somebody down every 5 or 6 sentences so they cannot get their point across because it interrupts their thought patterns. That's dishonest. Now, somebody asked a good question in the live chat, if I can get to it real quick. They asked, what's the difference between e-begging and entertaining? To me, somebody who's an e-beggar is somebody who is willfully lying to people and just saying, give me money to do it. Just give me money. Give me money.
I tend to find that if you're e-begging, if you're not actually providing content, if you're asking,
it depends on the content. I mean, to me,
I agree, but I would throw on that caveat as well. If somebody's not actually providing content, then like people pay for tabloids.
Yeah, right. And I was going to say, look, if somebody says, look, I'm an entertainer, I'm going to lie to you, and you're going to like it, and you're going to, send me money for it. Okay, fine, knock yourself out.
Be clear. Yes.
Be clear about it. But if you
don't pretend that you're part of some truth group and you're exposing the truth, which is what Uni's doing.
Yeah.
That's
don't play this duplicitous game where you're going to be saying, well, I'm an honest person and I care about the truth and I'm going to look for the truth, and then lie to people so blatantly, and then say, send money to my PayPal.
Somebody asked. Somebody said said somebody was in Uni's chat saying how bad this chat was and how they ignored you and can't stand me, and I have also never spoke to you and been awful. So apparently I've been awful to somebody. So if they can, it says at Lindsay. So maybe Lindsay, if you could at me.
Doesn't sound familiar.
You need to at my whole name, otherwise it doesn't highlight. And then Lindsay said, please elaborate and how you speak for others. Please share and back up your accusations, because I'm always the same person. I love people, ride for my people, and loyal to the core. So if you two can both at me with what you're talking about, because I'm actually kind of curious about what you guys are saying.
Yeah, I'm reading it now. I'm catching up. So, oh yeah, it's funny. I heard about this, by the way. Robert Gary III says he had the nerve to call Marvel Girl a beggar, and I'm like, really? You're gonna go after Marvel Girl? How low do you gotta
Robert's been
be to go
nice
after
guy
Marvel
too,
Girl for
and so
Pete's
is Marvel
sake?
Girl. Marvel Girl's been nothing but pleasant to me. I have
Yeah,
never had
she's
any
I don't
issues
have a
with her.
problem with Marvel Girl. I mean, we had one or two topics that we might have not seen eye to eye, but she's always been sweet, and she's certainly not a freaking
Oh,
uh,
you mean agreeing on
e-bagger.
topics isn't a reason to kick somebody, or isn't a reason
Oh
to
my
think somebody's
god,
a bad person?
that's pretty low
Wow,
actually to go after somebody like Marvel.
no.
Yeah, Brett Keane is the epitome of e-begging because Brett Keane, if you guys remember back in the day, he actually was like an atheist. Realized there was more money to be a Christian. He fleeced all the Christians, went back to being atheist, then went back to being Christian, and then went to, you know what, either or, it doesn't matter, just send me money. It was that to me is somebody who has no core values. Uh, they're looking for is the money. I am not looking for the money. I'm looking for to have good entertainment, good discussions, and if people want to watch, more power to you. But I've survived on very little for freaking how many years because this is what I enjoy doing.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm doing the same thing. Do I want to be able to survive doing it? Yes, but that's not the same. I'm also not asking anybody for anything. So when somebody goes ahead and says that, oh, you have such a sad sob story, no, I'm not telling any sob stories. Sob stories would require sobbing.
So I'm confused here. So Squirrel Me's, can you read what she says to you? By the way, yeah, make sure you put people's whole name because it will highlight an orange to them so they can stand out more. So you put the whole thing in there.
Yeah,
That way it stand out.
to think that Lindsay went into Uni's chat to say horrible things about this chat and that I ignored her on her birthday. I'm sorry if I ignored you on your birthday, but I okay.
And
Um, and
and
then
by the way, we have the
no one
most open
said that they've
chat.
never seen Lindsay say anything bad about me. So I mean, maybe it was a different Lindsay.
I do not know. But I can tell you right now, this chat that I have is extremely open. Unless you've been blocked because of your, a troll and those people that I want nothing to do with, pretty much everybody gets a fair shake. They can make a claim, and then we'll just inquire about it, and we'll see if they can actually provide evidence to support it. I don't have nothing wrong with that. I'm not an evidentialist, but I get the concept. But there's a difference between saying I believe something, but I'm not. I don't have the evidence to show you, but I hold a particular belief. Like for example, if I was like tonight be taken by aliens to another planet, I could say, look, I believe that I was taken by aliens and I went to another planet. But if I said HS, I can demonstrate to you or I can give you evidence to persuade you, not possible. I wouldn't be able to do it, right? So the difference between believing something and be able to show something as a ontological claim by saying that I can demonstrate it. And so when people make these weird claims, I want to know if they can actually demonstrate it or not. If they just say, well, I just believe it, but I can't demonstrate it, okay, you're allowed to do that. But as soon as they say, I believe it and I can demonstrate it, okay, let's go for it. That's what happened last night. Science First made a claim. He said he could demonstrate it. He didn't demonstrate it. He failed to do so. And that exposed him as somebody who was not an honest person because he not only did he kept doubling down on it, he actually, after he played that video, said, oh, look, I win. Goodbye. And he left rather than acknowledge the fact it did not show evidence for what he had actually claimed. I see that a lot, actually. Her volume sounds good to me. Let me see your volume messed up.
I think that there's something to be said for. I mean, I muted myself while I was typing,
Okay.
so
I was just saying, it's not your volume level's perfect on my end.
it might have just been me typing. Um, I think there's something to be said for as particularly when it comes to whether or not we want to succeed with the show. And oh, sorry, no, I jumped back too far in my brain. We were talking about the people coming into chat and getting banned. So you can make whatever claim you want, pretty much in here, but you need to be able to back it up, and we'll give you a chance to back it up. And if your claim is inflammatory, then yeah, you're gonna get back what you're putting out. So that's why we have things like the principles of the 5 C's. So you utilize those principles. You're not really gonna have, even if we disagree at the end of the day, there's not really gonna be any reason for you guys to get kicked for any reason. But if you come in here just slinging things to see what sticks to the wall, I believe the term without swearing, I think Ilya told me what it was, is slinging spaghetti to see what sticks to the wall, then yeah, you're going to run into problems if you can't back those things up. And if you keep pushing without backing those things up, that's when you're going to start to get onto our kick list because you're not you're running a narrative. And if once you start running a narrative and you aren't able to back up any of the things that you're saying, then yeah, we don't have time for you. We're not going to address your random claims.
Yeah, and how many
We're not
times
going to
can you address the same claims? This is what I'm saying. Every time people have to come on the live chat and said, "Hey, here's what it is," and we asked them for more detail or asked them for evidence, I can't remember a single time anybody's ever actually provided in recent history. Now, there have been times where I remember there was one. Okay, there was one where I was going to have this one guest on, and people had said, "Hey, Steve, you may not want to have this guest on. Let me give you reasons why." Blah blah. And I let me listen to you, right? And they were kind of surprised because they were all sent over by Katie Joy to come flag my channel and to kind of like troll my live chat. But instead of trolling my live chat, they're like, "Wait, this actually sounds pretty cool." They stuck around and listened. And then I listened to them as well. I mean, they had some things to say of value. There's a difference there. But most of the time when people come over and they just want to run this kind of narrative thing, which again, I know I use that word a lot, but it's a valued word. You'll see what happens. They'll come to live chat. They'll start saying stuff. You ask them, okay, what evidence do you have? One of two things are going to happen. Either A, they're not going to provide that evidence, or two, that evidence is not going to match what the claim is.
I really feel bad for you and I because they just asked, so Uni lied? Yes.
Stop it. No, that's impossible.
I'm being told to do a little bit of ASMR, so can I ASMR introduce our guest?
We have a guest. Oh wait, I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at the hangout. Did somebody come in? Okay. Oh yeah, I can see that. Now I can see it.
Hey guys, I'd like to introduce you to Mikey. Hey Mikey, how you doing?
That's really crappy AMSR.
We can't hear him. Oh no! Everything's ruined.
That's on his end, not mine.
Mikey, you need to fix your audio.
Can you do that again? Come on, do a proper ASMR. You sounded like more like a drunk GLaDOS.
I sound like a drunk GLaDOS.
Yeah, do it. Real AMSR, like sexy.
So is this sexy enough? Hey Mikey, how you doing?
That's
I see that you finally made it in here. Can you fix your audio for us? That'd be fantastic.
Not bad. I give it a 9, solid 9.5 maybe.
Need some practice.
Yeah. You know what? We can go off air. Let's just go off.
Hey, there we go.
We don't need Mikey. We're gonna go off air for a while. Hi, Mikey.
Yo, I have the sneezels.
No, I've had sneezes too, and my allergies are just killing me because I got back from like not just Texas but Fullerton, so I guarantee that I pick up allergens, and it's been bad. Yeah, they say you have a good. They say
my favorite jacket got washed, and now I'm sneezing.
Justice.
All the little. Yeah, I'm very upset that my jacket got washed, but I'll survive. I gotta dirty it up for a week so I stop sneezing.
Yeah, ASMR is supposed to be more relaxing, not sexy. So stop being sexy, damn it.
Oh, sorry.
Stop. Yeah. Mikey, do you want to try? Do you want to try doing ASMR or at least be sexy?
Well, all the ASMR videos that I've been seeing is always like a dog eating raw meat.
Oh, so I need to do it like this.
No, don't do that.
That's a thing.
I know it is. No.
That triggers people's ASMR.
No, it's triggering me, but in a bad way.
Or like a lady was eating a pickle that was crunchy as shit, and she was. I was like, oh, turn this monstrosity off.
So God's Auditor brought up a point, and I'd like to hear what Mikey and Steve have to think about it, because I have my own thoughts. But nobody cares about my
I was gonna say you're not allowed to have your own thoughts.
Yeah. So they asked. God's Auditor said, "Hey, now I wouldn't call it lying. Uni narrates what he probably thinks is true. Yeah, you can say that he isn't operating with sufficient information, but lying requires intent.
I would normally
his intent has been to harm and defame me directly by claiming that I have lied without ever once showing when I had done it. Yeah. He is lying to harm me in claiming that I am lying.
Yeah, God's Auditor, I am absolutely convinced he's lying. I don't give him the benefit of the doubt. You're right, though. Lying doesn't require intent. I think he damn well knows he's lying. He doesn't care. Now,
I wouldn't say I can't answer.
I'm happy to be wrong on that. By the way, if he's just
say that he's not lying about everything. There are some things he's saying that he actually believes and is just building a conspiracy theory. We're not saying he's lying about every single thing he said.
But still, I think there's a lot of omissions that he does, which is willful. Even when trying to build that narrative, but I do definitely think he willfully lies.
And keep in mind that lying also is an intent that isn't always negative. He could be lying for what he thinks is justified reasoning.
That's still lying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying that is still lying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's
I'm
always...
a troll. I'm a troll. I can't answer.
I don't know if you guys remember, but when Uni was in here interrupting Steve consistently because of reasons, Mikey is the one who wanted to pop in and talk to him, and then Uni yelled that he was a troll and ran away.
Yeah.
That's
You done scared him.
I was literally hosting his stream on Mixer.
At the time, yeah.
During him doing the thing.
I was a little taken aback by that. I was like, wow, what a coward. It's one thing not to want to talk to people, and if certain people came in that I didn't want to talk to, I'd be like, you know what, this was a great hangout. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, but he didn't know who Mikey was.
And he didn't. That's the weirdest thing. He didn't even know who Mikey was. I'm like, if I don't know who somebody is, I'm like, okay, let me suss them out, because as long as it's like if some new person wants to come in, I'm cool. Run your game if you want to. I've never ran away from a fight. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Anybody who thinks I'm a coward, you need to really address what that word means to you, because I've been open. I've had conversations with just about anybody. People in the live chat that start talking mad crap, I'm like, invite them in. I don't know what they think makes me a particular coward when I'm willing to have conversations with pretty much anybody. Ooh, who's calling me? Oh my God. Speaking of which, who's calling me?
Hey!
Oh, hang on one sec. Hang on. Hi, hey, yeah, you're on the air, but I am live right now, so your voice is being recorded. Whoever this is, I don't know who it is, because I don't want to stop recording. So who is this? Is it who I think it is? Oh, okay. Is it? I don't want to say who it is, but is it?
Is it me? Is it me?
Am I recording right now?
I'm live right now, but I can go off air if you want.
Oh
no, it's another troll.
No, I'll call back.
Okay, well, okay, because I know who this is. Can you give me maybe half hour?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry it's so late.
Yeah,
I got out of work late.
No,
and
it's
I was
fine.
dealing with
It's quite all right. Give me a half hour and then call right back, and I will be off air. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. I'll go check it out.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we're live right now. We're gonna go check it out on my channel. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Look at him plugging.
Yeah, plug my channel. All right. So, by the way, yes, that was who you think it was. Chesh?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
NatPat asks, let's get to the important business. What kind of budget is Steve giving to me for a sparkly dress, hair, makeup, and diamonds for next year's Dumb Fuck of the Year awards?
What am I supposed to give? What to who?
You're supposed to get I put on my gala face. Now for next year, you're supposed to provide the rest of the gala outfit, which is hair and dress and sparklies.
Oh, I don't know. I'll get more dressed up. I couldn't make it this year. I think this is like one of the first ones I missed, and I'm sorry for that. But I was legit out of town, so I couldn't actually make it. So I really apologize for that. But yeah, I was there in spirit. But I gotta tell you this. This is a true story. True story. So I was having lunch, right? It was about. Well, no, actually, I just got done with lunch. I was waiting to go do the studio thing like this, right? And so Fuz was already there, and they were all set up. There was about a dozen plus people in the control room. These are actual, like TV cameras here, studio lighting, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to use the restroom. So I'm seriously like this, Chesh. I'm in the restroom. I have my tablet out, right? And I'm listening to Red's Hangout. And all I hear is this, and the winner is, and then you and Team Skeptic would not shut up. And so I ended up having to turn this off,
pretty good chicken block.
go do this, and then come out and find out, which actually I believe it was Sweet had told me who won. But for like 5 minutes I'm in the bathroom. They must have think I was dying in there. They're all waiting for me. Everybody's waiting for me, and I'm sitting in the bathroom going, will you just tell me who won? I was so pissed at you. I wanted to reach through and just grab you and just choke you. Violence, because some people like that. So, but wow, I was like, just let him say it, then I gotta go move on. People were getting pissed at Chess though. They were legit getting pissed at her.
As they're right. They should be mad at me. I was being a wiener.
Were you drunk?
No.
You you were a little bit. There's a certain time where you just need to go, okay, let him get it out, because that crowd was getting violent on you. Yeah.
It's a thin line to walk.
So we're going to kind of wrap this up a little bit here soon, because like I said, I got to take that phone call. But who do you think is going to be for next year? Do you have any nominees already?
I was saying that, on the shills earlier today that we're going to have to raise Uni from the dead. to potentially, if he's still rolling around in his grave, potentially for next year.
Yeah, but the problem is it has to be within the year. It has to be
let me finish before everybody's like, "Oh my God, she's saying that somebody's gonna kill Uni," because that's what they're gonna do.
Nobody's gonna. No.
Let me finish.
All right.
Because essentially, the reason why we're gonna have to raise him from the dead, because he's essentially at this point dead to all of us.
Oh yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I put UNIROCK on the Flat Earth level. To me, he's on the same level as Flat Earther and Creationist. He's just in it for lulls and money and whatever. He's not anybody I would ever take seriously. If other people think that they can, knock yourself out. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. It's not my job to do that. I just laugh at somebody thinks UNIROCK is serious, but yeah, whatever. You find him entertaining, go for it. I listened to him too. He was like one of the very few people that I actually did go out of my way to listen to when he was doing the non sequitur stuff, because I think he did a pretty good job. But then he decided to basically sell out like he always does for views and money, and that's his shtick. I get it now. People have told me this is what he's done for a very, very long time. I didn't know that. I was unaware of that. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
A pattern surfaced.
A pattern surfaced, right. And so, and funny is people will say, like, Steve has a pattern, this in the communities. I'm like, really? My pattern is one thing, to always be honest and as ethically as possible as I can to my own beliefs, and put out a decent product of entertainment, be informative, have great people on, have discussions. That's all I've ever done. And I'm going to continue to do that. And now that we're working with Reasons to Believe, hopefully get the non sequitur back here soon. Got a lot of stuff going on. But as far as DF of the year, for this particular year, it has to be done within this year. So Uni's going to have to do something really stupid, which is almost inevitable, for him to be actually nominated. So I can't say that he's going to be one of the nominees as of yet. God's Louder to $2. Next DFO, I'm not going to say it only because I don't want to get demonetized. DF of the year, Stephen Chesh, Princess Leia, hair buns. She could probably pull them off, actually.
We could match.
Oh, wait. Do I have long enough hair to put in hair buns?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have enough of it.
Here's the thing. Here's what we'll do is you do the left side and I'll do the right side.
Maybe.
Because then you could use all your hair so you don't have to try and split it into two.
And by the way, I'm not selling T-Jump short, by the way, but T-Jump has to do something this year to qualify. It can't be like what he did last year. So again, I can't.
I don't know. Maybe his book will come out this year. That would justify it.
Legit. I when I went to Reason to Believe, they know who T-Jump is. But T-Jump doesn't have any fans. I'm just telling you right now. People that a little bit know about the topics are just whatever. But I don't know who's going to be in it next year, because it can't be Kyle, because Kyle's already done. Unless Katie does something really stupid, she won't be in it. So I really. How about, you know what? Just to say Mikey. Let's go for it. Just Mikey. Mikey, do something really dumb this year. Like you know what you should do? You should pretend all year long that you actually have a girlfriend. And then admit at the very end that you don't.
She literally just refilled the drink. So I mean, if you guys go back and watch that, the drink was empty, and then I didn't move, and then a new fresh drink was handed to me, and you can go back and watch. I have a girlfriend.
Am I getting in trouble for calling that black magic?
Yeah, you know.
See, here you go. Y'all don't never trust nothing we do.
Yeah, exactly. Where's your evidence?
This is why I'm an atheist now.
It's funny because
nothing y'all say. Nothing y'all say has ever been true.
What, you want to know how much we're dissimilar? How much of an economy you and I actually are? You claim to have a girlfriend that we've never seen. Yeah. I actually have somebody, but I don't have a girlfriend, and so it's weird because I haven't had a girlfriend in like 5 years. But you actually claim to have a girlfriend, and we never see her. But I actually have somebody who I do have, but not my girlfriend. So weird, man.
There you go. I win.
Oh, apparently. Match. Oh, okay. Well, guys, Katie Joy just doxed Leslie Bass's phone number.
Supposedly, I don't. I've
got the screenshot.
I haven't verified anything yet, and I wasn't gonna bring it up, but whatever. Now
I got the screenshot. It straight up got Leslie's number just showing on the screen.
Is there a particular reason why that she's
showing DMs between the two of them, and she didn't crop it properly. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that she did it on purpose or not.
Does it?
Because I haven't watched it, and it'd be really hard to demonstrate one way or the other.
Yeah.
But
this is the problem when you start showing DMs, right? There's always that problem of accidentally even doxing somebody.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Katie won't care. She does a lot. I totally think she knows what she's doing. She's still the evil person she was last year. Nothing's changed. I stand by everything I've ever said, 110%. That she is just one of the worst people on the planet. But like I said, there are people worse than her. But anyways, it's so funny because there's still people out there going, "Oh my God, they picked on her so badly." And I'm like, are you really serious? I mean,
She's an adult.
I just cannot picture.
Stop treating women like they are children, please.
Yeah, it's like how dare you criticize somebody who's absolutely wrong on everything they've said and made things up, but she's a woman. Oh no, that's demeaning to women. But
Oh, and I guess apparently Uni's gonna be going after the truth of non sequitur now.
he's scraping the bottom of the barrel. He's trying. But here's my thing: if people want to watch that, knock yourself out. But I got to question you straight up: who the hell wants to see his garbage any longer? I mean, who? I mean, what? I would love to have that conversation with somebody who thinks that UNIROCK is worth watching at this point. I want to know why they think it is. I mean, if they say, look, we know he's a lying scumbag and, we're just doing it for the lulz. Okay, I get that, right? I get that. What's my argument against that? I don't even think I would have one. I don't know how I would counter that. It's a good defeater. But if somebody thinks that he's like actually an honest person who's not doing this solely for the money and views, I'd like to know that.
Steve, this picture of you in particular gives you a new age vibe. You're like you're gonna sell some crystals or something on Dr. Phil.
See that? Oh, see that right there?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay. How do I...
Glorious.
Oh, right
Everybody grab.
That right
Everybody
there.
grab some cabbage.
You see that right there?
And then you need to boil it with salt.
That would be a book that I'm trying to sell. Right there. Okay, actually that is a book that's called Humans 2.0. This is a book that Fuz Rana wrote and he actually signed for me. I started reading. It's actually pretty good so far. It's about transhumanism. About people having CRISPR-Cas9, having augmentations, and how of course it's looking from a Christian perspective. But he's actually not against transhumanism. He seems to be okay with the natural progression of humans and science to have a longer life expectancies. Because I had asked him during our little session, that recording practice, and I was like, well, how do you feel about people changing God's plan? I mean, if God's plan was the average human now, he doesn't believe in like Methuselah kind of stuff. But let's say God's plan for us to live around 80 to 100 years, give or take, right? And cells to be able to divide only like 50 some odd times. This is what the Hayflick limit is. The telomeres wear out after a period of time after the cell splits. So
right.
I said, well, what happens if we can get around that by genetic modification and the telomeres no longer start shortening as much as they did, or we can get more cell divisions, or we can extend life, right? Would that be against God's plan? He didn't think it would be. It was a really good conversation. So, like I said, I like a lot of their books. No joke, they do put a lot of science in there. Of course, they put it from a Christian filter. I understand that, but as long as like this,
You
like
have to if you're gonna reach out to people.
Yeah.
Then you need to meet them on their playing field. You need
Yeah.
to meet them at where they are.
But if the science is right, I mean, look, he has in there like DNA replication, right? So it shows the DNA replication chain. It shows how the gyrase works. Shows how the polymerase works. He actually explains that. That's biology. It doesn't matter whether you're a theist, not theist, atheist, Christian. It doesn't matter. The science of how DNA replicates is the same regardless. That's why I like Reasons to Believe, because the science stuff we can talk about. We can talk about philosophy. We don't have to agree with the conclusions. That's why I like them, because they're willing to talk about the science, and then they'll admit it's from their perspective. Like, for example, the way I understand Dr. Rana, he doesn't say here's intelligence design, therefore God. He believes there's God, and then he'll say, well, there's intelligent design. So he doesn't exactly use ID as an explanation for God or a evidence for God. He starts, he has belief in God, and then God has done this stuff through intelligent design.
He's trying to get on modern day debates.
Oh, good God. James would have him. James doesn't care.
James would absolutely have him.
I was about to say James is like super nice, so that would
Oh
probably
no! I'm actually.
Oh, there's people that got after James too, and I'm like, wow. When you start blocking going after James, you really know.
Oh
you
yeah, I
have no
saw
life,
that.
right?
I
What?
saw that. That was funny.
James is if there was a center line in the middle of a highway, James would be the atom in the very center of that yellow line.
Yeah, he doesn't
He is
have
the
many
nicest,
positions.
most amiable bloke I've ever fucking talked to.
To a fault. That's actually his fault, though.
Somebody said that he was like the most horriblest, trolliest person they
Yeah.
ever met, and
Yeah.
that was like that's what they said they blocked him.
Dude,
If
I don't
remember
know.
correctly.
But like I said, nobody's perfect because James, the criticism against James is he's too nice. He's too middle of the road. That is a criticism I have.
What
of
the
him.
hell? Like, what do you want him to do? Yell at
Have a
people?
position on
He's too far
something.
that way. Be nice to people. He's too far that way.
Yeah.
He is literally as nice as possible.
I know, but
even
you
to
could be too
people who are
nice.
absolutely crazy.
There's a middle
These
ground
people
there.
are absolutely crazy, and he
Oh,
is still.
I love James, but for God's sake, man, he's just he's like vanilla. Total
The
vanilla.
only criticism of him, which he has improved upon, is his ability to moderate. Because sometimes you have to be a little bit mean to moderate properly, because you need to be like, okay,
You
stop.
have to interrupt.
We have
you have
very
to interrupt, and you have to stop them.
we have very different
A lot of
moderation
people then
styles.
go like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but I need you to let so and so finish their point, and we'll get right back to you. I promise." I was like, "Yo, this dude is too nice. Like, I would have been screaming by now."
Kawasa 5001. Whoops, almost missed this. Congrats, Steve. You're welcome. And thank you, by the way. Like I said, this is the show that this is going to be isn't going on until like summer. It's got 6, 7, 8 months to go probably. But they're building a design. We did some design concepts of how we want it to look. They're building a whole set for this. And again, I'm honored to be somebody they've selected for this because I don't have a PhD like all the members on the staff. They've treated me like royalty though. But Dr. Samples is there, Kenny Rhodes, Dr. Fuz Rana, Dr. Hugh Ross, Dr. Jeff Swearink, who, by the way, is one of the nicest guys I've ever met, too. There are really nice people there. Everybody that was working for Reasons to Believe there, they were just honest, nice people. So people can criticize beliefs, people can attack justifications, people can attack arguments, but there's nobody in the right mind that can say that anybody that was there was not nice. And so I was just thrilled to be a part of it. And so I'm happy to be involved with Reasons to Believe. I don't know why it's me they picked, except for the fact they like my stuff. They like the way I've had discussions with them before, and they wanted a non-believer they can trust. And I showed them that they can actually trust me by abiding by their writers and things like that, and have dialogue. Because I got to tell you, him and I had great discussions. So hopefully it'll continue.
We love you too, Shills. I would really love to see
Shills.
something that because the Shills talk a lot of pseudoscience. So I would love to potentially have the opportunity to bring one or two of the Shills on at a time to debate one or two of the Woo peddlers on non sequitur.
That'd be fun.
Really interesting conversation.
That's going to be a given. Trust me, Dick and Dick Kennedy and all of them. Every one of them will probably be on at some point individually, and we'll be discussing various conspiracy stuff, woo stuff. We've got a gambit. We got new stuff that hasn't even been in the communities yet that Chess and I are like wanting to talk about. We want to bring new and exciting stuff to the community that they haven't heard of, or it's not the same old.
Other communities who actually want to have these kinds of conversations. Like one of the people I've been reaching out to, I haven't pushed too hard or talked to her too much because we don't have the show back yet 100%. Once we have the show back 100%, I'll be able to touch base with her a little bit more. One of them was a lady who's recently left Islam, and the other one is a lady who's been horribly cyberbullied for speaking out against somebody famous for less than acceptable behavior. So I'm not really necessarily interested in covering, which is for anybody who's curious, I'm referring to the Vic Mignogna situation. So I'm not really interested in necessarily talking to her about the Vic Mignogna situation unless she wants to, but I am far more interested in talking to her about the pushback and how she's been treated since speaking out about it, and why, and what would be the cause of that, and kind of discuss that a little bit.
And you have sorry, Skawasa 5001 again. Oh yeah, did Steve address the controversy? Those legs are CGI. You'll never know. You won't know. By the way, I said I got nice legs. And anybody who says I'm fat, I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I had a full picture on my Facebook. I don't know what the hell they're talking about when they think that I'm fat. It's weird. I'm actually.
Hey man, you're fluffy. You're not.
I'm
fat.
not even fluffy. you listen here, man. All right. So, anyways, you got something. Hang on. You have something coming up here, Josh. You want to plug that real quick?
We do. What do we have coming up?
You, Manya, Sweet.
Oh yeah, so over at my channel, like that, yeah, I guess that is getting soon. On Tuesday, me and Manya and Sweet and Nikki are looking at. Hopefully, all four of us will be able to make it. We're trying to figure out what the best time would be. I think we're gonna aim for. I don't know. I don't want to say a time yet. That will be in the evening, sometime on Tuesday, to do another kind of interview type layout. But it's going to be 4 people, and we're going to be talking about. Essentially our interactions on Twitter and the awful people that we have to deal with that essentially try to degrade and speak down to or speak for us or speak about us without our consent or ever having talked to us or anything like that, to essentially like dehumanize us a lot. A lot of that has to do with they don't like Steve, so therefore all the women around Steve are being abused in some way, shape, or form, and we're just not smart enough to figure it out, I guess.
I'm gonna agree with that. You're not.
We're gonna get to talk about that a little bit, and it kind of ties into a lot of what happened last night.
It does actually. Yeah, that's a good tie-in. Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I do have a lot of women in my life, and it's not because I'm some creep to them. It's not because I have some weird obsession with women. I happen to be a very cisgender male and happen to like women. Sue me for it, but I don't hit on like any of them except for one who I actually hit on last year. I asked out, she said yes, and the rest has been history. So I don't know where there's people get off trying to say that I'm somehow like going after every girl in the community. Who? I'd like to know, because I've only asked out one girl in the last year. Like one. So
Katie, by the way,
I'm the worst perv creep in history, Josh.
Yeah, you are. You're really bad at grifting. You're really bad at taking advantage of people. You're really bad at all this lying that you apparently do. You're really bad at a lot of the things that people accuse you of doing.
I'm failing at being bad. I want to be the bad boy. Can I be the bad boy? I mean, just like snap my fingers, and girls come running, but that's not how it works.
You're bad at being the bad boy.
That's me. I'm the bad boy.
I seriously, I like to know who all I hit on. I don't know. Because, like I said, last year, I remember specifically only asking out one person, and I was kind of resonant to do it. I was like, we're kind of hanging out, though. Should we at least go on a real date one of these days?
Yeah, Dick Dawson would be the bad boy.
Oh, yeah, well, he can get anyone he wants, so...
Probably. Yeah. His voice is definitely made of butter.
He's a player. He can get me, and I'm not even female.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So that doxing... thing has actually been confirmed, as Katie has currently taken the video down, but not all the way. Sorry, I shouldn't say taking the video down. She's unlisted the video. She hasn't even made it private.
But the bag's already out there, so...
Yeah, the Leslie's number has been exposed to the world, so hopefully she'll go and get her number changed.
YouTube server says, wait, you said you haven't dated in 5 years. No, I said I haven't had a girlfriend in 5 years. I dated a girl that I met on OkCupid. I dated a girl I met from the G+, named Lyrical. I moved in with her for a little while. It was about a month, but we were never boyfriend and girlfriend, and that didn't work out. I came back to where I was, but I haven't had a girlfriend in. My last girlfriend was Jessica, if I remember correctly, and that was probably 6 years ago, give or take, 5 or 6. I mean, it's a ballpark. But you could see her on my Facebook page. She was pretty. But yeah, I don't have girlfriends.
Put it together something for people who are victims of situations. Who get taken advantage of in large groups or in their individual lives, to come and talk to me, because you would not believe the number of stories I've had people sending me ever since last night. So we might have some of those talks.
That'd be interesting. All right, so Mikey, what about you? Got anything coming up? I know we didn't get a chance to much hang out. It's been a while. By the way, I, on the way back, was hoping you would actually meet up with Sweet Heathen in Chicago, but she didn't have much of a lay arrow, so I apologize. But the attempt.
Yeah, dude, it would have been literally a 2-hour drive with all the bullshit traffic.
But I would be going to Boston here eventually, probably in the next couple months. I expect you and your girl to come down.
Yeah, me and Senora Imaginary.
Yeah.
We want to do a lot more traveling. I have this amazing idea for a coffee table for our new house. and it's going to be like ticket stubs for like concerts and movies and all this like fun stuff we did. And then I'm gonna put like a layer of epoxy over it.
Oh, like a glass.
So then
I got you.
That's cool.
yeah,
That's
so it'll be like a
romantic.
cool thing of like all the things we did like the first year of our relationship. And hopefully we can get that done. So then we can put those plane tickets on.
Is that
there.
why
So
she
then
loves
our
you?
kids,
Because
like,
you do kind of sweet stuff like that?
I'm amazing. I'm the best person, clearly. There's not enough rum in here, woman.
I got to meet this invisible girlfriend because I have so many questions.
What are you
You
drinking?
saw that arm? You saw
No,
that?
I saw the
didn't see
CGI.
I didn't see anything.
The CGI mannequin arm.
The mannequin. He's like taking his mannequin arm and he's putting it over like this. Mad skills,
So
man.
because you guys have been like doing this whole joke, she's like, I'm gonna paint my face green. And then when you do your streams, I'll walk across and then everyone will know it's CG because there'll just be random eyes on it.
Exactly.
Like,
Do it.
that's really
That's a great idea. Go buy her one of those green zip-up suits.
yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm like, that's not that's really funny.
That's really funny.
So she's been thinking of ways to make herself look more and more fake, so that she can just insert fake, like a digitized arm would just like enter the stream.
Ask her or tell her about the makeup of like the Borderlands makeup, where they do like the hard lines around like your nose and your jawline.
She's talking to you. Just listen, so you can hear. You can hear? Oh.
Yeah. Do the Borderlands makeup and then just put like take like green like painting tape on specific areas, so those areas will be see through on the green screen.
Yeah. All right, anyways, I got to wrap this up because I told that person to call me back. So if they're still listening, we're going to go off air in about 1 minute here. Call us back, and we'll take care of that.
Oh, I got a video to check.
So
And anybody who sees the video or the screenshots, by the way, of Leslie's number, please do not share them around because that will be sharing her number around. Once we've confirmed or
Just report it.
something where she changes her number, then we can prove that she did in fact do this after the fact and share that information. But please don't share it out while it's still a threat to her.
yeah, there you go.
If you see it up, just report it.
Yep.
All right,
And that way it'll get taken down.
guys, thanks for this. Like I said, I want to keep you guys update. Even though I've backed out of the stuff, doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep my promise to you guys and fill you guys in. Doesn't mean that I've changed my position on anything. It doesn't mean that I still don't think UNIROCK and Katie are horrible people. But as you can tell, I got bigger and better things going on in my life. They can come at me all they want. All it's ever going to do is make me further in the stratosphere.
Oh,
So-
and Egghead is doing a live stream for here. I'll send you guys the link.
Egghead from Dunkin' Peasants?
Yeah,
Okay.
Egghead from Circuit Peasant. He's doing a live stream. It started 15 minutes ago. So if you guys want to go over there and support him, he's having a bit of a hard time right now. So go and help him out.
Tell him we say hi because I got to go over there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over there.
Well, no, you're not going to go over there because you got to stick around. Remember?
I just posted a link. Here, I'll drop it one more time. Because Chess just drowned me out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out again.
Okay, I'll just post it again. I have a podcast that I'm starting up with me and some of my mates in different countries, and it's called The Bin Podcast. We're idiots, we're hilarious, and sub us. More to come later.
What a
So it's in there.
tagline. We're idiots. Come watch.
No, we're really dumb. Like, we're mad dumb.
Go share out Egghead's link and harass him because
Alright.
he could use support right now.
All right, so the person who called me earlier, call me back, and I'm going to end this. We'll see you later.
See you guys later. Bye.
Peace, peace.